Guys and girls, you know I love my technology, and to have one of the pioneers of SMS technology online with us today is great. Q&A with Peter from Agility. Stay tuned.
Morning, gents. Peter, the SMS famously
morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Fantastic. Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning, mate. Top of the morning. And most importantly, just a legend of a bloke.
Yeah, he's very well known in our local area as the SMS King, but he didn't know about our talk show, Mark. So we just had to bring two and two together. Well,
this talk show is a CNN challenger. It's a big show. But in all seriousness, Pete, thank you so much for joining us today. You are definitely in the country. You're an animal that's very hard to find. You're not only one of the pioneers of SMS mass array marketing for little and big companies. But you've sort of you Da Vinci coded what works and what doesn't work, and we wanted to share that with you today. How you started your business and the secrets to SMS.
Well, thanks for having me first and foremost. And they're very kind words, very loose, I guess, generously loose, but I appreciate it. But well, look, we've been in the business for about 20 odd years, Mark. I mean, I used to be in the retail space. My battery just died. Are you kidding me? Yeah, hang on.
You'll have heaps of battery, don't worry.
Hang on.
Gonna grab the charger.
Hang on. We can't cut anything, can we? It's got to go again.
No, you can grab the charger. We can talk to you, get the battery charger.
Okay, this is
we'll roll on.
You know, hey.
Yeah. Grab the charger.
Okay, I'm outside. This is probably going to be we can't pause anything, can we?
You can put your finger over the top of the camera if you need to run inside with the camera. and you can talk while you're doing that.
Okay. Yeah, so we began about 20 years ago, and we were in the retail space, predominantly in the video rental space. I used to own and manage multiple stores for other owners, and our biggest gripe was, how do we get our movies back? People would rent the movies, and it's imperative that you get these movies back quickly so you could rent them out again and make your money back when you had the opportunity to make the money back. And it was always a challenge. How do we get this back? We have to call customers and chase and tie up resources doing that. I bumped into some guys from Vodafone around the year 2000, and at the time SMS just didn't exist. I mean, you could only SMS Telstra to Telstra, Voda to Voda. So really there was no use, there's no application, but they did mention that the telcos were thinking of opening it up to cross carriers, so you could text Telstra to Telstra or Voda to Voda. Telstra to Voda, Voda to Telstra. And I thought, hang on, this could actually work for our business. So we did some homework, got into business with these guys. We discovered that we could find a platform that, eventually would allow us to plug into our video rental software. So before you knew it, we could text all these people, text all these customers, get our movies back. And it exploded. The Civic Video Group took it on, then Video Easy, Blockbuster, and not long after we spoke to Rockend, who were one of Australia's biggest real estate software providers, and they were very progressive, and they saw the opportunity, they saw the solution, they saw how it could help their customers, save time and money by again plugging us into their systems and applying that same principle where you could chase your customers up, or you chase your tenants up, chase your landlords up, and save a heap of time because it was just a menial task. So, and the rest is history, I guess.
Wow.
The funniest part about all of this is, like, you say the year 2000, like, I've only ever known SMS. So it's actually unbelievable to think that this is only, you know, within my lifetime that this has changed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's one of those things. It's, you know, we take it all for granted now, and SMS has been around. It's one of the oldest forms of contact and technology, but it's still the most effective, believe it or not. I mean, we have all this over the top. We call it over the top technology like WhatsApp and Signal and you know, DM and whatever else, but you need permission. You need to get permission from your customers to be able to contact them with, you know, through those channels. So you've had to have had a previous relationship to you know, to allow, you know, to be allowed to be contacted that way. Whereas SMS, everybody has got a phone, and it's the most direct form of communication. I mean, you know, messages are opened. 94% of messages, so 96% of messages are open within 90 seconds, and it's still king.
Say that one again.
So 96% of all SMS messages are opened within 90 seconds, which is incredible. I mean, it's still 20 years on. Is still the most effective form of communication.
So every year, now this would be almost a little bit intimidating me to be are you a tech business?
We are. Well, I'm not tech. I'm you know, I don't have a tech background, but I do have, you know, some really capable technical people, developers. I take what our customers want for their business back to them in plain English, and they'll translate it into nuts and bolts and making it happen. So we're more of a solutions provider, yeah.
A solutions provider, and every year, I would have thought that your business is changing every year. When, you know, like I'd feel that you'd almost be under attack by SMS, thinking, what about this? What about that? What about that? But every year, SMS just seems to be getting stronger. So have you had to change a lot of your business over that period?
Yeah, look, I think what we, you know, the way that people do business has changed, and what we have to do is change to make sure that we, you know, shoehorn in with the way they do business. Look, the beauty of SMS, unlike email, SMS is your guarded community, your gated community with your phone. You know who you're getting your message from. Okay, the occasional spam message may get through because you may have, you know, applied or entered a competition or whatever else and didn't read your fine print properly. But for most part, you're going to get a message from somebody you know, so you are going to pay attention. Email, unfortunately, you know, isn't quite as, I guess, as protected or as pure as SMS, because of, you know, it's a Wild West in some cases, because it's just so easy to just spam and receive spam. So as far as doing business with SMS, I mean, it's not just SMS now. You know, we do embrace other technologies and other channels, and we mentioned WhatsApp and DM earlier. That's all forming part of the dialogue now, but SMS is still the main conduit. You know, so we look at the way people do business, and then we'll apply the solution to the way they do business, not so much them applying their business to how we do business. So, but, you know, and we need to continue to evolve that way, yeah.
And is it possible? So, so you've got, in a way, any business can pick you up in Australia, and if they've got at least a contact list of people they'd like to market to,
yeah,
you've got software where you can actually say, "There's the software. Plug in your Excel spreadsheet, for example.
Yep.
Plug in your message, and off you go." Now, you've also got some tech that can reply back to those people. So if you ask those people a question, or if so, you can say, you know, would you like an appraisal, yes or no? Would you like a report on DY, yes or no? And if they write yes, then it will automatically send a report back to them. So how's that working for you?
It's fantastic. And just before we talk about the replies, we not only have a platform for you to just log on and send your messages from, we've also just completed an Australian first with Microsoft, where we have a direct integration with Outlook. So from your Outlook, you've got our SMS sending pane on the right, so you can grab your contacts from Outlook and send messages back and forth. With Excel, you could just open up your Excel spreadsheet and click on a button, and our SMS sending field will appear on the right-hand side of your Excel sheet. So you can just grab any data from your Excel spreadsheet, drag it across, send it in 10 seconds. Teams, same thing. And literally, like it takes seconds. Replies, as you mentioned, Mark, is a big part of it, because it creates that back and forth, that conversation piece. So you can send a message, people can reply, the system can pick up what their reply word or keyword is and send an automatic message back, whether it be information about DY or Pacific Parade in DY that you've got preset to send, values or information that could be irrelevant to that particular customer. But yes, replies are a critical part of it now. It's not just a one-way thing. It's, it is a conversation.
Phenomenal.
That's huge.
But Pete, I've noticed robocalling, and I know this is off from SMS, but robocalling is really giving me the shits. Why does that always, and I know this is still marketing, so you probably may know the answer. Why does that always come from Melbourne or Queensland or something? Those robocallers.
Oh, look, typically those robocallers could be anywhere in the world, and they can provision a number from, an Australian number. Typically, servers would be in Melbourne or Sydney or Queensland. So it's not predominantly those states, but robocalling, unless you are a member of a club and you need to renew your membership and you get a robocall to remind you, that's acceptable. But if you're getting robocalls to remind you of who to vote for, or it's not as, it's quite intrusive, and people aren't.
I can't put it off.
Sorry?
SMS, you can just say stop, but the robocalls.
Right. Yeah, robocalls are, people think that they are cutting edge and they could be effective, but they're quite intrusive, and they actually work against you, for your business in a lot of respects.
Jonathan Creek, good morning, buddy. Automated lead generation, funnel and community management, cool. It's true.
Yeah.
And Lisa says robotics will never replace the human touch.
That's exactly right.
We love this SMS technology. We use it a lot. So, Pete, where's the future? And I know this is someone right on the cutting edge of SMS technology.
Yeah.
Is this thing, is it stable? Is it growing? Is it shrinking violet? Is it forever changing and growing?
Look, people always communicate in this or similar channels or similar fashions to SMS. Look, it will change shape and feel, but it will still be via a mobile device. Rich content messaging, similar to WhatsApp, where messages can be sent to and from your SMS, native SMS option on your phone, is the next big thing. That's where you'll be able to send, large file formats, video, audio. So it will look and feel exactly like SMS. It will look and feel like SMS, but it will have the capabilities of a WhatsApp. And that's the next big thing. The other things will sit side by side with SMS in the interim, but that's where it's going.
Is that being provided by the phone provider? Sorry, Bill.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got a quick question after that.
Sure.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, just cut out for a second there. What was the question again? Sorry, guys. Where are the telcos going to provide that? Is that what you're saying?
What'd you say, Mark?
Over to you.
I've got a quick question. We touched a little bit off air. You have national clients, small businesses throughout huge different amount of industries. I'm just curious to know, out of your experience, which ones had the biggest impact by this? Which one do you think has really seen the best result?
Look, I think I'll give you a quick case study. Weight Watchers got in touch with us. Weight Watchers Australia and New Zealand got in touch with us just as COVID hit, and they relied on that face-to-face counselling with their clients. So their business went from literally 100 miles an hour to zero immediately, when COVID hit. So they had to, and I hate the word pivot because it's overused, but they had to think of ways to salvage this. So what they did was they decided, okay, we could Zoom call our clients and maintain some sort of a business model. And to do that and manage that, they needed to connect with these people in an instantaneous fashion. So they called us, and we worked out a program and worked out a system where they could communicate and send a link to the next Zoom session for these clients. So what they've done, ironically, was from a full service model, they were able to provide not just a full service post COVID, but provide an interactive and virtual service. So they've actually improved their business model and their business offering. So what we did for them was give them that immediate reach and that immediate scheduling. So they were able to pivot during those times. So that was a really exciting and something we were able to pull off quite quickly for them, which was quite nice.
So you'd be able to, just before the person put the burger in their mouth, you'd be able to SMS donate that burger.
Stop that.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So it's quite cool. And it was good, and we felt quite, we felt a part of what they were trying to achieve, which was good, a pivotal part. And help the business, and they're a big business, but, like any other business, they need to survive.
Yeah. And it's amazing that you would have thought that would have fitted perfectly in their business prior to COVID. And it did, because effectively COVID, waned away, coming and out, and they've still maintained that tech. So it goes out to people that are thinking about it today. No matter how small or big your company is, whether it's one employee or 2,000 employees, consider the SMS King, Peter from Agility, and that technology where I think, people can get too silly with it and really give people the shits. And I also think people can just have a gentle touch using it in addition to what they do and an array of services.
And we'll teach them how to do that. We'll make sure that they, you could always overcook it in anything you do, but we'll show them how to do it effectively. And it doesn't need to be in volume. It can be in timing and, and being accurate. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much, Pete.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me this morning. It's a great show. I do listen in every week. I was only kidding.
Hey, I just want to say, for everyone watching, Pete was a little bit nervous.
No.
You were. You're like, what? But mate, you smashed it, and you know what? You're super passionate about your business. It's something very easy for you to talk about, and I love it.
I love it. Well, can I come on again next week?
Mate, you can come on whenever you want, and we can run some training on the next biggest thing.
It'd be a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Seriously, that's great. It's been fun.
I know tech's great, but you're making people. You're helping people, but you didn't like the Weight Watchers and things like that. So it's amazing that you can use there's a piece of technology like this just to help the community. So well done.
Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Billy. I really appreciate it.
See you, Pete. Thanks, Billy.
Have a good day. Thank you.